From the McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota, good evening everybody, I'm Jed Thomas, alongside of my partner Haley Buckles, as we get set for North Dakota High School volleyball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the Fargo Davies Eagles. Well folks, this is the marquee matchup of the year for Shanley, taking on the #1 Davies Eagles, a team that has not lost a single game to a North Dakota high school team. They're 24-2, they are the big bad #1 team, looking to come in here and hand Shanley a home loss. The Deacons, on the other hand, #3 team in the East, a very strong team in their own right, looking to pull off what would be a huge upset on their home court against these Davies Eagles. Haley, it's going to be a fantastic game here tonight. Folks, we're so excited to be bringing it to you. For now, we are going to have to step away and send things down to the PA announcer, but don't go anywhere. We got a great night of high school volleyball coming up in just a couple minutes.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Butler Machinery, Ed's Marine, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Hurley's Religious Goods, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Northern Improvement, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford, Shields, Taxman, TCI Insurance, and Wolf Steel Construction.
We ask you as always to be with us and watch over us, bless us, and those that are near and dear to us. Keep the players in good health, allow them to play to the best of their ability. May they show good sportsmanship and reward them for their efforts here tonight. Finally, let everything that happens here this evening give you great honor, glory, and praise. We pray all this in your Son Jesus by the power of your Holy Spirit. You are God forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please remain standing as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be performed by Shanley Senior Maria Lusardi. Time, I'd like to draw your attention to the scores table. The Shanley volleyball player Natalie Heinrich will read the EDC Sportsmanship Creed.
The North Dakota High School Activities Association and the Eastern Dakota Conference encourage and promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask that you cheer for your team and be respectful of the opponent. As high school student athletes, we commit to fair play, responsibility, and respect. We invite you to support our efforts.
Now for tonight's lineups. First for the visitors on the scoreboard.
All right, folks, we are back at it here on Shanley TV, getting ready for Probably the biggest matchup of the year here for the Deacons, Haley, taking on those #1 Davies Eagles, 24-2, not a single loss to a North Dakota high school team. Their only losses have been to Moorhead and Sioux Falls, Washington, 2 powerhouse teams. So Davies looking like a clear-cut #1 here. But like I said, this is also a strong Shanley team. They're going to be looking to pull off the major upset here with home court advantage. Haley, tell us, who do you see as being the big impact players for both teams?
You know, the big impact players I see for your Shanley Deacons is Jordan Straub and Grace Meyer. 2 seniors, they have a great connection from setter to hitter. And 2 of the younger girls I think that are really key in that back row is Haley Kleiman and Olivia Emanuel. They're younger girls, but they're so good in that back row position, getting good passes up and digging almost every ball. And then going over to the Davies side, which this might be amazing, but there's only 1 senior on the whole Davies roster. And her is Avery Byer as a libero, and she does a fantastic job in the defensive position, getting those balls up and communicating well to those girls. And one of the juniors I think we need to watch is Kenzie Leininger. She's a fantastic setter. She does a great job of getting those balls up and out for the girls to hit. I think it's going to be a great matchup tonight. #1 versus #3 here at Shanley Deacons home court. It's going to be great to watch.
Absolutely, Haley. And like you said, that really is amazing that Davies only has 1 senior. Now, granted, it is Avery Byer, their libero, arguably maybe their best player. But, no, it really is quite incredible that they've got 1 senior on one of the strongest teams we've seen in a long time. This junior class, though, Haley, I mean, this whole varsity team is basically made of juniors. It's incredible the talent they've gotten there for Davies.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think there's 4 sophomores and 1 senior on the entire team. The rest are all juniors, and their roster is so deep, too, as well. And so is the Shanley's roster. They're very deep and very young as well. But the experience that I think the Shanley Deacons have with a lot of those girls playing varsity might give them the upper edge tonight. You know, it's kind of a packed house. There's a lot of people here. It's going to be exciting to see what it's going to do. But, you know, Davies, they've been playing fantastic. You know, coming off that 24-2 record and 2 of their losses not even being to a North Dakota team. It's going to be great to see what's going to happen tonight between these 2 good volleyball teams.
And that's a good point you bring up, Haley, about Shanley's depth. That is one of the areas where I think they can match Davies. Not a lot of teams have been able to compete with Davies in the depth department, but that is an area Shanley's very strong at. They're well-conditioned. They've got a lot of girls. They don't fatigue easily at all. So I think they're going to be able to keep pace with Davies all night, and so that will be one benefit that I don't think a lot of other teams have had when playing the Eagles.
And the one thing I noticed the Shanley Deacons doing a lot is that they roll a lot of their girls in from the bench. I don't know if the Deacon or the Davies team do as well, but the Deacons roll a lot of their girls in, and they all play really well together. But the Davies, they all play well together because the majority of them are in class together 24/7.
Obviously, yeah, that's a good point there, Haley. A lot of chemistry between all these girls. Again, most of them being in the same grade. You mentioned Kenzie Langley, the setter. She's going to be absolutely vital to that Davies team, Haley. And her counterpart for Shanley, Jordan Straub, you mentioned her as well. Those are 2 girls who are going to rack up the assists tonight. It's going to be an interesting duel between those 2 playmakers.
It will be an interesting duel, and all of it starts from them, really. It comes from the pass from the libero position. And, you know, the entire offense kind of begins with the setter. She sets up where she's going to go, where she's going outside, in the middle, or all the way back to that back row position. It's really unique what they do.
All right, well, we've done plenty of talking, but it's time to see what these 2 teams have got. You can analyze and you can talk, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to the game. So
that's right.
Let's see it here. Kenzie Langley, just talking about her. She's back to serve, and we're underway. As right off the bat, Manuel will get a dig on that ball, and now Meyer's going to send it over for Shanley. Deep into the far corner, Langley puts it up. Here comes Solberg now getting it over, climbing there for Shanley. Strout blocks that one at the net. Langley setting up now. Second try here for Solberg, climbing there once again. And now here's Giak on the recovery, gets it to Meyer. This volley's still going, but we've got a whistle and a point for the Eagles as that ball went outside the antenna, I believe.
It did, yes. It's really kind of hard to see it pure, but it did look like it went out just a little bit. It might have touched it as well.
Well, a hard-fought first point, but it is the Eagles who end up taking it. And let's see what these 2 teams have got going from there. Quite the way to start this game as Langley with the deep serve. The Deacons let it go, and it was the smart call. Huge point there. Momentum comes right back the other way as that ball was out of bounds.
I got a feeling this is going to be a dogfight at the beginning. I think there's only going to be maybe a 1 or 2 point lead in all of these sets that they play tonight.
Well, it certainly does feel close right now as Payne serves that one for Shanley. Langley sets it up. Solberg tried to tap it over. Kind of mistimed the jump there. Didn't get underneath it, and that'll give the point to the Deacons.
She had the right idea, the aggression. The Deacons would have to pressure them up at the net, use kind of the height to their advantage. And there was a little gap there, but, she mistimed it just a little bit.
Payne continuing to serve very strong on that one. Here's the set. Now the spike at the net. Payne is right there for Shanley to recover. Stroup over to Meyer. Big cannon shot. Langley got to it, but it'll fall out of bounds. That's 3-1 for Shanley now.
And Grace Meyer, like I was talking about her earlier, she's the veteran out on the court, one of the veterans on the court, and she has so much power underneath that kill that she has.
So Payne back there to serve still. And it looks like we've got a replay on this point. Stroup getting an explanation from the referee. And Haley, I'm not quite sure what the cause of the replay is. Did you catch it?
I did not. You can see Coach over there kind of putting his head back going, what was that? I don't exactly know.
All right, well, whatever the case, we are replaying the point. So Payne on the serve. Here come the Deacons now, and Fredericks. The replay doesn't matter as Alander Fredericks gets that point once again for Shanley, finding that far out-of-bounds line and just sneaking it in there.
Good job by the Deacons to come back and quickly answer off of that replay.
Serve from Payne taken by Langley. Here's the set, then the spike, and there's the point back for Davies. Madeline Cooper lets it go and picks up the kill.
Great setup by the Eagles there. You see how nice how that set. This was hanging right above the net. Perfect timing by them. Perfect timing.
Grace Solberg now back serving. Low ball. Giak there for Shanley. Here's a set by Stroup. The spike from Fredericks. Handled nicely by the Davies defense. Set. Now Hall sends it over. Here's Stroup leaving it for Meyer. She loads up and finds the corner. That's a kill for Grace Meyer.
Grace Meyer. There's not much I can say about her. She's just fantastic every time I watch her. She has good court vision and she has great power when she goes back.
Yeah, Haley, she really can just do it all. She's got the power and the accuracy, like you said. Great court vision as well. She really puts it together nicely as Hall gets her hands on that one. Ball put back up and then sent over by Terry. Giak there with a good dig for Shanley. Stroup sets now for Matheson on the outside. Langley was there for Davies, and here's Langley once again from that libero position. Stroup sets. Meyer spikes, blocked at the line, and the Eagles get the point.
Good job by the Eagles there. Show some aggression, not to go back on their heels and let Grace get those free swings at those balls to go up and challenge her, and they did a great job there challenging it and getting that block on it and have that ball come right back.
4-3 now in favor of the Deacons. It's Maddie Langley back serving. Heinrich there, Stroup sets, awkward position, got it to Meyer, was it in? Yes, sir, Meyer found the spot right there just along that out-of-bounds line.
And she was behind the 10-foot line when she went up to try to go get that kill and try to swing at that ball. That is very difficult to get that ball down and get over that net. She did a great job. That's good technique, good practice.
Low serve by Meyer, and that's a tough one. I thought it might find its way over, but just a little too low there for Shanley, and that takes some of the air out of your tires.
It does, and giving one of those free points over to the Eagles can be kind of tough.
But boy, Haley, you really called it after that first point. You said you didn't think we'd see either team pull away early, and that has been the case. Neck and neck so far. Giak there for Shanley, colliding with Heinrich. Now here comes Matheson, ball tipped at the line, Langley there. Set, now a little tap from Terry. Stroup sends it over on the fake set. Set up now for Hall. She lets it go and gets the kill. Heinrich was there, just couldn't get underneath of it, though.
That's just good vision right there. There was a small gap, just the smallest little window, and she has the power and the speed to be able to get it in that tight window. She did a great job there.
All tied up now. Kruger serving. Giak to Stroup. Here comes Fredericks up the middle. Just hammers that one. The Eagles try to block it, but to no avail.
Fredericks, one of the younger girls that are on this team for the Shanley Deacons, and she has been playing fantastic these past couple games, showing a lot of power and a lot of accuracy. I think she's been watching Grace Meyer a lot out there.
Certainly, Haley, she's been an asset for the Deacons in the middle of the court. Haley Kleiman serving now. Here's the set from Kruger. That one tipped at the line. Stroup got there. Giak going to put it up over to Payne. Payne's ball taken by Langley. The set, then the spike from Terry. And now here's Stroup for Matheson. Did it find its way in? Yes, sir. Make that 7-5.
Megan Matheson, also one of the younger girls on the Deacons squad. She's been playing fantastic just alongside Lander Fredericks. She does a great job of getting up there and getting good contact on that ball.
And just like that, the Deacons going to give it back. A little low serve there from Kleiman. And so far, Shanley's had a couple of errors there serving that have cost them.
And it's very uncharacteristic from the two girls that the ball's going to the net to, Grace Meyer and Haley Kleiman. Haley Kleiman being probably the best server for the Shanley Deacons. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, she's really had herself a year, first year varsity, been serving very well. And there she is defensively as Straub sets this one up for Payne. That ball from Payne sent right back by the Eagles. Here's Straub at the net, tough position. And that's going to be an Eagle point for a double hit.
And Jordan going to talk about it. You might see saying the Deacons or the Eagles want to put their wrist over the net.
Yeah, I do think that's what she was arguing there, Haley. She won't get any ground there, but still doesn't hurt to bring it up as now we're tied up 7-7. Byer sends this one over. Kleiman right there. Tough spot for Straub. Huber tried to help it out, but could not. And now the Eagles have the lead up 8-7 here.
Close game, Jed. Close game.
Yeah, very close, Haley, like we thought it would be. And so here's Byer serving. Low serve by Byer. Giach there. Straub now going to set it up for Matheson. Matheson was going for the home run shot there, and she ended up putting it a little too low and into the net.
The timing was just a little bit off there for the Deacons. I think they just need to go sit back down and just relax and let the play develop on its own. I think they're trying to rush a little bit too much right now.
2-point lead here for the Eagles. That's about as big of a lead as you'll find so far in this one. And that ball going to drop, make it a 3-point lead. Awkward play. Ball went off the arms of Kleiman over the net. Straub couldn't get the set, and the Eagles capitalized. So Byer continuing to serve here. Continuing to attack Kleiman there, and Straub just cannot quite get to it. That's an ace for Byer.
And Avery, one of the girls that we said to watch tonight. She's showing her, athleticism and showing, her ability to go out there and play right now. She's finding those gaps from serving. The girls are playing a little bit farther back, so she's going to shorten the serve up.
And Byer really attacking that back left corner. The Deacons finally, though, are able to respond. Byer now going to try and put it back over. Kleiman there for Shanley. Straub will set it up. Huber fires, blocked at the line. Matheson kept it alive briefly, but then it did fall for the Eagles. It was close to start off, but now it's a 12-7 lead in favor of Davies. Coach Johnson trying to shout some directions out to his players, try and calm them down here as the Eagles have gone on a run. Short ball from Byer. Kleiman, excellent defensive effort, and then Giach will send it over, but a little too strong, and now it's 13-7.
I think Coach is even looking to try to take a timeout here, and yes, he does.
Yeah, Haley, that is no surprise. As Shanley was really in a bit of trouble there. Byer really attacking that back left corner, and the Deacons did not have an answer.
And it all starts, the Deacons trying to absorb some of those initial serves from Davies. And Davies is doing a great job at finding those gaps and finding those key players that, can't quite receive those serves very well right now. The defensive back row for the Deacons kind of need to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, usually the strong suit of this team. And, yeah, right now, Haley, they're in a little bit of trouble. They're having trouble responding to Byer. She's really picking on that back row, and the Deacons just don't have an answer right now. So let's see if they can make some adjustments with that timeout, trailing by 6 now.
They need a quick point off of this timeout just to get some momentum coming back to them.
Definitely. All right, so here is Byer trying to continue a dominant run. Giach takes this one for Shanley. Straub sets. Huber just kind of taps it over there. Langley is there. Kruger now over to Solberg, and Payne just reached out and did not get underneath it. So that's going to make it 14-7.
The Davies are playing so fluent right now. It's kind of looking effortless the way they're playing. The serves are going fantastic, and their setups are just flawless.
Yeah, it really does look effortless here, Haley, as that's another ace for Avery Byer, and she's put on a master class here of how to serve a volleyball, Haley.
She is, and I think the Deacons need to take one more girl back and kind of fill in that middle area right now. She's kind of picking on that little area right there.
Absolutely, Haley. And Straub with the heads-up play almost caught the Eagles, and they do get the point. Huge play there for Shanley to end that run. They needed that.
That was big. They needed that big time. Now they just need to capitalize on it. Olivia Manuel, probably their second best server on the team going out there, so great rotation that they got in right now.
Yes, Manuel certainly up there, one of the best for Shanley. Probably one of their best defensive players as she gets the ace, so there's some offense. But Manuel, certainly one of their best defensive players in that back court. Next time Bayer is serving, I think they're definitely going to want Manuel in that back court to be the answer to that.
Yes, I think they will too.
So Shanley down 6, low serve by Manuel. Here's the set by Kruger, the spike up the middle, too strong that time from Jelseth.
She had the right idea, though. That back corner was open. Just a little bit too much under it. I think she kind of works on her timing and puts her wrist a little bit more through it. She'll get that in.
Shanley trying to claw their way back here. Manuel serving. Set by Kruger. The spike from Hall off the fingertips of Giach. Kleiman plays it back for Payne. And then that ball taken by Langley. Set by Kruger. Spike. And the kill for Solberg. Solberg lowers the boom and takes the life right back out of the Deacons just as they were getting it back.
Solberg, a 10th grader, going out there and showing that she is ready to play with the varsity teams, and she's doing fantastic. I think she's already had, 3-4 kills already?
Yeah, Solberg has been a nightmare, not just for Shanley, but for the entire East this season, as there she is defensively to make that play. Kruger going to set it up now, finds its way all the way across for Hallstrom. Straub sets, Payne putting it up the middle. Great response defensively by the Eagles. Straub has her ball tipped at the net. Here's the set from Kruger up the middle and the kill for the Eagles.
The Eagles are just keep going. They're keeping their foot on the gas. They're not letting up at all, even diving for those balls right now. And they're collapsing on those tip balls, which is doing really well for them. The Deacons are trying to find those gaps, but it's been really difficult.
Great defense there from Manuel. Payne lets that one go into the net. Straub sent it over, but 4 hits called against Shanley, and so that'll mean another Eagle point, making it 18-10 in favor of the visitors.
I think the Deacons need to just relax and take a second and just focus on their offense right now and trying to receive these balls.
Good defense there from Manuel, and Huber just a little off with the timing. She tried to tap it over, but was maybe just a half second behind that ball, and that cost them. So 19-10, and Shanley's forced to take another timeout here, Haley.
You know, Huber had a good idea that they were collapsing in towards the middle, and she was going to tip it right towards that outside. But you need to put a little bit more under it. You know, you got to get up and over that net. I think the Deacons have the right idea where they want to hit. They just got to execute.
Yeah, I'd agree, Haley. And, you know, that little play there from Huber, one has to wonder how much rust she has, given that she spent most of the season up until a few weeks ago injured and not playing. Certainly some of those timing issues can be attributed to that.
And the timing is totally different once you get into a game. You can have perfect timing in practice and you get to a game and it's completely different. There's more people, there's more stimulus. It's just a lot going on.
Absolutely. So 19-10 our score. Shanley burning their second timeout of this first set, hoping that it will make a difference. This game started off ideal for Shanley, but has since gone downhill. Very wide margin has opened up here, but we're back into the action as Manuel gets that one up to Straub. Huber looking for the kill, and she gets it. Big confidence booster, not just for Huber, but for this Shanley team.
And Huber rotates out for Grace Meyer to come back in and up front. Let's see if the Deacons can get some points going here.
Shanley needing a big-time run here as Giach serving. Langley gets that ball up to Kruger, and then the ball from Cooper was blocked and ended up out of bounds. That's an Eagle point.
Good awareness by the Eagles there. You know, they have that ball, you see it, and usually a lot of girls try to, attempt to go back after it, but to watch that go out of bounds off a block, good awareness, good court vision.
And Madeline Cooper really having her way right now. The 6-footer is dominating up front. So here is Kenzie Langley back serving. Manuel receives. Straub sets. Meyer lets this one go cross court. Too strong. Out of bounds. And now it's 21-11 Davies. They're 4 points away from taking this first set. Kenzie Langley continuing to serve, shorts this one, taken by Payne. Meyer just from an awkward angle somehow worked that one over the net. Straub now over to Payne, and Payne gets the kill.
Good job by the Deacons there. You know, Meyer, initially I thought that was going in the net. She kind of went underneath it and poked it over. She did a great job, and a good way to finish by, Payne. To follow that ball and track it, even though it looked like it might not have worked initially. She did a good job at tracking it.
For sure, and Meyer now trying to continue to make things happen. Poke that one over the net. Played nicely by the Eagle defense. Straub sets. Fredericks lets one go and did not get the downward trajectory she wanted on that one.
Right idea, just to be a little quicker. Get up there and hit that ball really fast, set it up quick, but a little too much under it.
Yeah, certainly, Haley. She was trying to come up a little more on top of the ball, and like you said, she got underneath, and that sailed it over.
Yep.
So Meyer gets this one up and over. Here's the set now. Cooper lets it go, and Fredericks gets the block.
And Fredericks answers right there. She is the only girl on the Shanley roster that is over or at 6 feet. And she does a fantastic job at jumping up and using those long arms to get up and challenge balls at the top of the net like she did right there.
So Davies now up 22-13 on the volley here. It's Straub setting for Meyer. That ball blocked, but out of bounds.
It's a little bit of life coming back into this Deacons right now. We'll see if they can keep it going.
Straub going to go back to serve now. 8-point lead for Davies. Tough spot, and that won't help. Ball into the net there from Straub. That's a tough break for Shanley, as Davies is now just 2 points away from taking this first set.
There's been a few serving errors in this first set for the Deacons. I think there's been probably 3 or so that have gone into the net.
Yeah, and they've come at pretty crucial times as well, Haley. So that's something Shanley's going to have to figure out in the next set. Maddie Langley serving. She shorted it. Rough collision down on the ground between two Deacon players, Matheson and Heinrich. They would get up okay, but they lost the point.
The Deacons brought another girl back in the back row to see if they can adjust for the serving the way that the Eagles are right now.
And it worked to a degree, but it also led to that collision as Matheson gets an excellent dig. Then Frederick sets it up for Heinrich. That ball tracked down on the near side. Set by Langley, poked over by Hall. Meyer was there. Here's Straub now back to Meyer looking for the kill. Could not get it. It's out of bounds, and that ends the first set. A dominant 11-point victory for Davies.
And a lot of those points got to go back to Avery Beyer in the way that their serves have been going for the Eagles. They've been doing a fantastic job at, going at one of the best defensive back rows in the state, I believe, with the Shanley Deacons, and they're doing great at finding those gaps and finding those holes. The Deacons just need to go out there and, put a little more pressure up at the net, and they need to be a little more technically sound to take some of those balls out of the nets at the crucial moments. But other than that, I think they'll be pretty good, Jed.
Yeah, certainly, Haley. I think the big difference, like you said, was that run Beyer had serving. Shanley just was never really able to fully recover from that. So now, folks, as we have a little break here, we would like to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticclub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join. So sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. And folks, before we get back to it, want to do a quick shout out here. Want to shout out Steve, Lance, and Brian Matheson tuning in from Saskatchewan. So thank you guys for tuning in. Glad to have you watching. Folks, if you are watching, be sure to get in contact with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any way you know how. Try and get in contact with us, and we'll give you a shout out on air. Meanwhile, though, we're getting set for set number 2 here. And Haley, we talked about it just a minute ago. It was really Avery Beyer that was the difference. That dominant serving put Shanley in a big hole. We saw the Deacons make an adjustment, though, moving another girl back to try and close up those gaps. Do you think we'll continue to see that in the second set here?
I think they're going to go back to their original setup because as we saw at the end there, those last 3-4 points came off of really good serves. As the Deacons moved a couple girls back, they started shortening up their serves, putting them at right about where that red line is, the 10-foot line. I think they need to go back and just go back to playing their original defensive setup and keep their original rotation. Yeah, I think that's going to be the key.
Yeah, Haley, the change in formation didn't really do much good for Shanley. Things kind of stayed the same. Not to mention they didn't look very comfortable there. We saw them kind of running into each other. Then again, though, I mean, we'll see. If they go back to the old formation and it's not working out, they might have to keep switching it up. I'd say it's better to do that than just be complacent, and let things happen.
I agree. I think they just need to go out there and, just play. It's a big atmosphere. We got fans cheering. Everyone's all excited to be here. I think we just need to go out there and just play the game.
All right, well, we'll see if that's what they do here, Haley, in set number 2. Just try and clear their minds, relax, and get into it. Certainly, like you said, big pressure game. And folks, little error with the scoreboard here. It is not game number 1. We finished game 1. It went to the Davies Eagles. This will be game number 2. Our apologies. We'll try to get that number fixed there on the scoreboard. But yeah, set number 2 coming up here after the Eagles took number 1. So Shanley hopefully making some adjustments, learning from their mistakes in that first set. Davies, meanwhile, looking to probably just do more of the same. They do a pretty good job, Haley, building up those big leads, going on those big runs, and they don't look like they're trying all that hard. They make it look very easy, very seamless.
They do, and the Eagles are playing very fluent right now, both on the defensive side and offensive side, and especially serving. Did a great job.
So here's Giak serving for Shanley. Langley will set that one up. Solberg fires one. Excellent power, but Manuel and Giak save it. Ball from Giak hit the rafters. Manuel was there to get after it. Fake set from Langley. Payne not fooled. Langley going to set it up once again. Cooper lowers it. Stroup was there. Payne tried to save it, but it was out of the reach of Meyer.
Initially, that was a great focus by the Deacons. You see that ball go off the top of the rafters out there and to get that over. Unfortunately, giving Davies a free ball like that to have them set up, it's almost a guaranteed point.
Yeah, that's never going to be good there, Haley. But still, a nice try on the recovery there for Shanley as Kleiman makes an excellent save. Manuel sends it over. Here's the set by Langley. That one fired back. Kleiman there once again. Stroup will set it up now for Meyer. She lets that one go. Tipped at the line. Langley was there. Maddie Langley now will send it back over to Solberg. Solberg finds the empty space and gets the kill.
Solberg, she is having a night right now. I think she's coming off, 5 kills in the 4 or 5 kills in the first set, and she's already got 2 in the second set. Fantastic job.
So Beyer is now in at the libero, Haley. I just noticed that. I believe she and Langley switched.
They switched.
Yeah,
Yep.
So that's something to watch as Maddie Langley, the former libero, makes the dig there. Solberg sends that one over. Deacons, good job not playing it as it goes out of bounds.
Now a defensive specialist coming in for the Deacons and a little bit of height in the front row. Lander Fredericks and Natalie Heinrich.
Heinrich on the serve. Beyer there. Langley sets. Now Hall on the outside with some power. Giak there for Shanley. Stroup fakes the set, sends it over. Langley now sets it up on the outside. Hall fires, and it'll be a Deacon point. That one just outside.
See, the Deacons can use a little bit of momentum they have right now to get a couple more points, a little bit of lead on these Eagles.
Served by Heinrich, taken by Beyer. Quick set, and then the spike from Cooper. Excellent defensive play by Heinrich, but just couldn't quite get underneath enough, and that'll be Davies' point.
Grace Solberg serving.
Solberg serve taken by Giak. Stroup now over to Meyer. Meyer down the middle. Eagles there to take it. Hall lets this one go, tipped at the line. Now Stroup sets up for Fredericks. She tried to tap it over and was blocked. Stroup now over to Meyer. Meyer trying to go across the court. Langley got there. Solberg sends it over, tipped at the line, saved by Meyer. The Deacons, though, couldn't keep it going, and that's a Davies point.
That was a very fast volley right there. There was a lot going on both on the Deacons side and on the Davies side. That's a tough point right there, tough break.
Yeah, Shanley doing a good job at keeping that ball off the floor. They're making, these great defensive plays, but then they're just not able to follow them up and get the ball over the net, after they make the save, which usually they're able to do it, but tonight they've been stymied. Stroup going to set it up here for Fredericks, going for the big kill. But that's going to be a violation, I believe.
In the net.
Yep, as she ended up into the net there, like you said, Haley. And so that'll be a Davies point now, up 5-2.
I love how aggressive they're being right now, the Deacons, trying to set something up quick, trying to get that quick point, get the momentum back, then get serving again.
Ball set for Meyer, looking for some power that time, and the Eagles just kind of tripping over their own feet there. They make a little mental slip, and Shanley gets the point. That's what you need if you're the Deacons.
Now let's see if the Deacons can use it and start rolling a little couple points here.
So Stroup will serve. She has the ability to put a run together. We've seen her do it in the past. There's a ball from Stroup, taken in the back row by Langley. Set up for Cooper, and Cooper has been an asset for Davies tonight, Haley. She has just been all over the place.
And she has, and she's been doing a fantastic job, and it's been a great Great setup and good communication through the Eagles. You know, just noticing that tonight, all the way from the initial pass to the set.
Heinrich takes that ball in the back row. Straub going to set it up. Fredericks went for it. Pulled away at the last second. Matheson got there. Eagles send it back. Heinrich now over to Matheson. Byer takes in the back row. Langley sets it up. Just tapped that time by Hall. Kept alive by the Eagles after being blocked at the line. Terry reached for it, couldn't get to it, and then a miscommunication there between Langley and Byer. And it's 6-4 now. Shanley closing the gap.
You can't have communication errors like that in a big game like this.
Ball from Meyer, taken by Byer, set from Langley to Maddie Langley, and that one found its way in, just inside.
That was good court vision there by Maddie Langley. Good job being able to see that pocket in the back row where Grace Meyer was kind of in the general area, but the speed of that ball, she couldn't get to it. Too fast.
Heinrich gets underneath that one, and it just finds its way. Was it in or was it touched by the Eagles and out? I'm not sure. I think they're giving the point there to Shanley.
Coach is coming over for a little discussion to see.
Yeah, Coach Wilson over there talking on behalf of her Eagles there with the referee in that level of conference. And I'm not quite sure. At first I thought it was off the Eagles and out of bounds. Then the indication seemed to be that it was in bounds and that the Eagles just didn't get to it. It looks like this call is going to stay with Shanley, but again, they're just going to talk it out here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they replay it, because in a game like this, if they're not fully sure, they're just going to replay it.
Yeah, that's very possible too, Haley. We saw that once earlier in this game.
Oh, point looks like goes to Deacons.
Yeah, and so I guess they are confident enough with that call, and that's a nice break there for Shanley at down 2 here. Trying to tie it up.
Still a little discussion going up on the top of the screen between Davies and that ref.
Eagles, I'm sure, just pleading their case a little bit here. They're trying to get an explanation. Do your due diligence and just make sure, you know, always want to know why the call was made the way it was.
See if they can fix it.
And they seem satisfied with the explanation. So, Kleiman back to serve for Shanley after a little pause in play. And here we go. Strong serve from Kleiman. Byer there. Here's the set. And then that ball from Hallstrom is blocked.
Great answer by the Deacons right there. Good serve. And to get up and block that ball right away. Let's see if they can use a little bit more momentum that they have a little bit to get some more points. Only a 1-point lead by the Eagles.
So Kleiman continuing to serve. Another strong ball into the opposite corner, though. Here's the set. Then the spike from Langley. And Payne tried to reach out there, but just couldn't get it settled down.
That was a great job by the Eagles. That was so smooth. And it wasn't a set. It was a bump right up to her, and she came up and timed it perfectly, her jump, and followed through that ball. That was just good volleyball right there.
Giak with the dig for Shanley. Set by Straub. Huber looking for the kill, and she gets it.
Huber trying to get a little bit of that rust off that arm, and I think she's kind of coming into it a little bit here. 1 or 2 kills in the first set and 1 here in the second set.
So it's Olivia Manuel back serving for Shanley. Ball from Manuel. Taken by the Eagle back row. Played a little awkwardly on the set, and that will be Shanley point.
Good job by Olivia Manuel. Did you see how fast she flew up to that ball and then had to stop and slide because she realized that ball was going out? Good vision.
Yeah, Huber has great speed there. Not Huber. Manuel has great speed there, Haley. And you saw it on display there. But, boy, really back and forth here in this second set. The Eagles come right back and answer.
Like we said earlier, I was very impressed in the first set how Davies came out such a big lead. And now we're going back to what we said earlier, only 1-2-point leads.
So there's the ball from Maddie Langley. Kleiman got underneath it. The set for Payne. Excellent defensive play made in that back row. Solberg trying to get up to it, but it's tapped over by Straub.
Good job by Jordan Straub to get up and jump and contest that ball floating above the net there. Both teams can go up and get those. And she was the first one to go up there and contest it and put it over.
So we are tied once again as Giak is back to serve for Shanley. Here's a ball from Giak, and Byer could not get underneath it, so it's an ace.
The Deacons needed that.
They certainly did, Haley. Up 10-9 now. In the lead for the first time in a while as Giat continues to serve. Here's Solberg, and it's into the net. Make that a 2-point lead for the Deacons.
Now they just got to keep going, keep going. The Eagles are still playing pretty well, but there's a little bit of communication here, it seems like, going on right now on whether they're going to set up or just try to get a free ball over the net.
The set and then the quick shot gets the point for the Eagles. That was Cooper who got up there after the set from Kruger.
Good court vision to watch how the Deacons came up and, a little bit energetic, trying to get a little more pressure up the top of the net, and the back row slides up a little bit too far, and she pokes it right over the back row.
11-10 now in favor of Shanley. Stroup over to Payne. Payne reads it beautifully, just taps it over, gets the kill.
Very technical game we got going on right now. I think the team that's going to win this set is the one that stays more technically sound and keeps the ball out of the net.
I would agree with you there, Haley. Set by Langley. Hall going for the far side. Could not pick that corner, though. So it's 13-10 now. Shanley with their largest lead in a very long time.
Yes, it is.
It might be their largest of the game, actually, Haley.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've gone over a 3-point lead, maybe in the very beginning of the first set. Nonetheless, though, make it a 4-point lead as the Eagles are too strong on that one. And, yep, there's the timeout.
There's the timeout.
Not a surprise there.
Nope. I think the Eagles just got to, regroup, go back to what they were normally doing. They were playing so well in the beginning of that second set. I think they just got to go back out there and play the way they were.
Yeah, Haley, I'm not sure what's changed here. Like, a lot of it's been Shanley's just playing better right now. They've really, I haven't seen, any particular adjustment in their game. There's been nothing drastic. They seem to be playing a much better all-around game right now.
Yes, they are. They've been playing really good, from the setup all the way to the defensive side of the ball. They're getting great initial reads off that ball from the defensive specialists. Can't wait to see what they're going to do in the beginning of or midway through this second set right now.
And before we get back to it, want to give another shout out here to Todd Heinrich tuning in from Chicago. Thank you so much for tuning in, Todd. Glad to have you. So here is Natalie Heinrich now back to serve.
There we go.
And there, a ball from Heinrich taken by Byer, set by Langley. Hall on the near side, taps it over, just found its way over on the net. Heinrich now to Meyer. Meyer's ball played expertly by Langley. Solberg trying to get it over, but it's into the net. And the Deacons win the point out of the timeout.
And that is the way you want to come out of a timeout, especially for the Deacons.
Absolutely huge there. Yeah, Haley. Shanley able to keep this momentum up even with that break in play. Cooper, though, she has been the answer for Davies all night long. She goes away for periods, but she seems to come back when they need her most.
She's always there. I feel like she's the reliable one when they need her, just to go up there and get a quick point. She has good vision, and she has good power.
Giak gets underneath that one. Quick set. Fredericks taps it over. Here's Hall now for Davies, and it's into the net. So make that 16-11.
Hall right there. You don't need to swing at that. It's a little bit of a low ball. The best time there is just to get the ball over and hopefully play another game.
And Davies right now having some troubles in that near corner. They put 3 or 4 balls into the net from there in this game. And, well, there's one from the opposite corner. But that's going to be Eagle point. And it looks like they set out of bounds on Shanley. I'm not quite sure where that happened, though.
Might have been tipped at the net, but it looked like it was pipped by a forearm, maybe.
Yeah, Haley, you're right. That was the call. It was a forearm up against the net, and that does make sense. Those are certainly hard to see from here, but
yes,
that makes sense now that you say it. So here's the set, and then the ball from Terry, just out of bounds, I think. Yep. So make that 17-12. Shanley holding on to a 5-point lead here. They look like a whole new team in this set.
Totally different from what we saw in this game today. And a miscommunication error by the Eagles. You can't have those happen on big momentum plays like that.
Yeah, that's a big ace there for Grace Meyer.
And another timeout by the Eagles, Jeff.
And Haley, I'm not sure if that was a miscommunication or if they just kind of misread that ball. I think they thought it was headed out, and Meyer almost with a knuckleball type of serve there as it just kind of dropped out of the air. So that's a nice serve for Meyer, a nice ace, and yeah, like you said, they got to burn a timeout here.
I really thought, they might have thought that free throw line was an out of bounds line. They followed it right up to the free throw line and just stopped, and they were a couple feet short.
Well, nonetheless, it's now 18-12. We got another timeout, so we'll do another shout-out. Want to shout out Dustin Payne watching from Williamsburg, Virginia. Thank you for tuning in. And want to give a shout-out to Noah Lance, who's also tuning in from Saskatchewan. So got a lot of viewers up there in Canada tonight. Viewers from all over. Glad to hear it. So, Haley, Davies forced to burn that second timeout here. The roles have really been reversed in this second set.
Yes, they have.
Grace Meyer back to serve, coming off that ace. This ball taken by Byer. Here's the set. Now on the near side.
And
that's another
in the net.
Yeah, Haley, they just keep putting them into the net from those corners. It's been a lot on this near side, but a few on the far side as well. I don't know what that problem is. It's kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's really starting to affect their game now as an excellent play is made by Matheson. Straub sends it over. Byer plays it forward to Langley. Here's a little tap from Hall and a much-needed point.
Much-needed point.
Going the way of the Eagles that time.
And that's very uncharacteristic of this Davies team to put balls in the net like that. The first set, I think every ball they swung at, they got over the net. Maybe one or two got blocked, but...
Yeah, it's certainly been puzzling so far, Haley, as that ball is
in.
Wow, just in bounds. So that is an ace. Big-time serve there from Maggie Kruger. Risky play along that out-of-bounds line, but it pays off.
Still serving.
Looks like the Deacons are trying to ask for a replay, but I guess they're not going to get it.
Yeah, and I do think that was just in there, Haley, as Kruger continues to serve. Ball from Matheson is into the net. So look at this, 19-15. Davies now only down 4.
Well, let's see if the Eagles can slowly work their way back just like the Deacons did.
Kruger continuing to serve here. Heinrich gets underneath. Set by Straub. Ball from Fredericks is blocked. Deacons cannot keep it alive. And it's now a 3-point game as Hallstrom gets the block. And Shanley has to take a timeout here, Haley. What a turnaround from Davies. I got to be honest, I did not see that coming.
I am totally with you. I did not see any of this coming. I thought, the Deacons, once they got on that momentum there, started rolling a little bit, they'd keep it going. But after putting that ball in the net, everything kind of flipped. The Deacons asked for a replay on an iffy call, and they didn't get it. And the Eagles are just kind of going right now. Their balls are kind of working pretty good, and it's just good volleyball right now. Good volley.
Yeah, absolutely, Haley. And we'll do another shout-out here to Ashley Mickelson watching from Carlos, Minnesota. So thank you for tuning in, Ashley. But yeah, Haley, going back to what you said, that was certainly a turning point as Davies kind of really put that run together. The good news for Shanley, though, is they were up by a pretty wide margin. So they're still leading by 3 here.
They still have a cushion.
Yeah, I mean, if they can just come out and win the first point here, or even one of the next couple points, they'll still be in good shape. But easier said than done as Davies tries to continue this run. Ball from Heinrich up into the rafters. Strout plays it over to Huber. Huber going across. Langley is there. Set by Kruger. It's tapped over by Terry. Maybe a miscommunication. They recover nicely, though. Ball from Fredericks tipped at the line and then played up by Kruger over to Solberg. Ball from Solberg tipped and it falls. That's a point for Davies.
Lucky break by Solberg there. That was a very difficult and kind of a risky play there to go up and swing at that ball while you're so far behind or so far away from the net.
Yeah, Haley, a little bit of luck and a lot of skill there, too, for Solberg. A great player, but there's a huge play for Shanley as that ball was tipped and redirected at the net. The Eagles were all flowing one direction, and then as the ball was tipped, it suddenly changed on them.
Yep. And Haley climbing back to serve. This is the woman you want to have be serving right now, trying to end and close this game.
Most definitely Haley, as this ball's a little shorter one there. Here comes Terry as it's tipped at the line and it falls out of bounds. Excellent work there by the Eagles, trailing by 2 now.
Showing some power there to go through Riley Payne and Jordan Straub.
Shanley just trying to get to the end of this set here, clinging to a lead as the Eagles continue to mount a comeback. Ball handled by Kleiman, set by Straub. Here comes Payne, blocked at the line, sent back by Huber, though. A whistle, and it will be Shanley point for a lift.
Big change there for the Eagles. You can't have those happen in a tight game, especially right now at the closing of set 2.
Yeah, that was massive, Haley. So here's Olivia Manuel trying to close this set out. Strong serve, just out of bounds. That's not what you want if you're Shanley, though, giving it right back now.
A few serving errors the Deacons have had, in this game, especially in the first set, and only about 2 in the second set, so they cleaned it up a little bit, but still, got to clean them up.
Giak takes this one for Shanley. Straub sets. Here comes Payne. Lets one go. Too strong. 21-20 now. 1-point game.
Wow, Jed. This has been fantastic to watch. Watching these two teams go at it tonight right now.
So here's a serve from Langley, and it's an ace to tie it up. Kleiman got there, but just couldn't get underneath it enough. And so 21-21. Davies has tied it up now.
Great court awareness by the Eagles to find those gaps and to go out there and go towards them and try to really make this back row go try to get those balls.
Kleiman got there in time this time as Manuel sends it over. Here's the set from Kruger, spiked by Cooper. And that one's out of bounds. That's a point for Davies.
And look at this, Davies back on top after they were down by 5 or 6 for a while there.
They were down by a wide margin for a long time, yes, Haley, but now here they are up 1 in the late stages of the second set. Straub sets it up for Payne now. That ball played up to Kruger. Here's Solberg with it, tipped at the line. Giak trying to keep it going, chased down by Payne. Still alive, Kleiman somehow steers it back into play. The set from Kruger, the spike from Cooper. Kleiman to Giak, now back up to Payne, looking for the kill, tipped at the line, and Langley plays it up to Kruger. Here's Solberg trying to find the gap. It's not there. Straub to Huber, still going, it's Langley. All the way across, Hallstrom over to Solberg. We're still playing here as Payne lets one go. It's blocked, and it's a point for the Eagles.
Look at these two teams compete right now. This is fantastic to watch. The Deacons were on top for a majority of this second set, and the Eagles fighting their way back and now on top 23-21, hoping to close out this second set and go to a 2-0 lead in this game.
And Shanley calling the timeout here. They're catching their breath. We're catching our breath.
Yes, we are.
This whole gym is catching their breath, Haley. That was one heck of a point. But what about this comeback by Davies? It's just been incredible. I really thought for a period there that Shanley kind of had this second set in the bag, and all of a sudden they are in a serious hole here, down 2, with Davies only 2 points away from tying this one up. Or, excuse me, from locking this one up.
From locking it up,
yeah.
That's right. And I think, the Deacons really need to work on their closing right now. I think they got a little bit on their heels and it's got a little bit more flustered there. This is the time where you just kind of got to buckle down and say, you know what, we're going to win this set. And Davies did that. They buckled down and they're saying they're going to win this set, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen right now. I don't know who's going to win this set.
Well, you know how you know it's been a good set, Haley? Both teams have used all their timeouts.
Yes,
that's
and
how you
they're
know.
competing. That's correct.
So here's the serve now. Davies trying to continue what would be an incredible comeback. Here's Payne trying to end it, blocked at the line. Straub lets one go, faked the set, then hammered one, but the Eagles keep it alive. That ball along the out-of-bounds line. Straub trying to tap it over. Was it in? Just inside. And the Eagles get the point. No, okay, they'll say it was tipped and out of bounds. Oh, man. 24-21 now. Davies a point away.
You got to shake that off if you're the Deacons and keep playing. Keep playing.
You cannot fixate on it, but
a huge break.
Absolute gift. Langley had been serving so well, but the point given back to Shanley now. It's going to be a tense couple of points here, but if they can get 2, then they're in a better spot. You got to win by 2, so just trying to tie it up at 24 here. No margin for error, and there's one. The ace for Haley Giak, and now they're 1 point away from tying it up.
Huge answer from the senior Giak. It looks like the Davies are rotating another girl in the back row.
It's the freshman Ava Wild checking in, the lone freshman on this team. Here we go. The set by Kruger. Cooper trying to tap it over. Straub is there. Manuel now for Meyer. Lets one go. Tipped. And it falls out of bounds. So we're tied up.
Oh, my goodness, Jed. This gym is just I don't know what this gym's feeling right now. Everyone is just kind of like, wow, just amazed.
I believe the word you're looking for is electric, Haley.
Oh, there we go. Yes, it is.
It is electric in here right now. Tied up 24-24. Huge dig from that back row. Cooper sends it over, but it's out of bounds. Too strong, and Shanley might just pull this one off.
They might. We got to win by 2. Okay?
That's right.
And the stomping's coming from the Deacon fans.
Big point coming up here, trying to take this second set. Low serve, it's misplayed, and the Deacons take set number 2. They made us worry, but they take it indeed, and we're tied up now 1-1. How about it?
The resilience from the Deacons right there, coming out and persevering through all of that. It was amazing. And Davies coming out of that hole and getting all the way back up to only losing that set by 2. Fantastic job.
I mean, Haley, if you're Davies, talk about just getting your heart ripped out of your chest there. I mean, you just mounted one heck of a comeback, and then all of a sudden to have Shanley, I mean, you were up 24-22, 1 point away, and then one serve into the net, and it was over from there. Shanley won all the remaining points in that set.
That's right.
I mean, just an absolute, that's as back and forth as it gets. Just insane, Haley.
You couldn't ask for a better game right there. You know, the way that those two teams are competing, I can't wait to see what's going to happen in this third set. I think it's going to be just electric, just like that last game was.
I mean, that's what I'm expecting at least. So we got some stats for you. Leading the way in kills for the Deacons right now, it is Grace Meyer with 5. Behind her are Lander Fredericks and Hadley Huber with 3 apiece. For assists, Olivia Manuel has 2, and then Jordan Straub leading the way with 9. And then Haley Giach, how about 3 aces there for the senior, and she came out in clutch there at the end of that last set. You saw some huge plays made there. So going over to the Davies side of things, tied for first in kills, it's Grace Solberg and Madeline Cooper. No surprise there. They've got 6 apiece. Maddie Langley right behind them with 3. And then in assists, it's pretty even. Maggie Kruger with 7, Kenzie Langley with 5, and then aces, it's 2 apiece, Maddie Langley and Avery Byer. So Haley, we're getting ready for the third set now. And I really don't know what to expect. I mean, it was dominance from Davies in the first set. Then it looked like Shanley was running away with the second. All of a sudden, the Eagles mounted one heck of a comeback. Thought they had that one locked up. Thought they had put together an unbelievable comeback. But then it was Shanley who turned the tables once again. And so now, to be honest with you, I've got no idea, who the better team is right now, who's got the advantage. It's just kind of chaos.
I'm totally with you, Jed. I don't know exactly who is, the better team out there right now. The one thing that I think is playing a factor is the Deacons are at their home court. It's very difficult to play a good team anywhere, volleyball, basketball, football, on their home court, home turf. And the Deacons are playing really well. They have a great student section, good fan base here right now, and Davies also has a good student section and good fan base right now. So it's really equal both sides. I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like we said, there have not been many indicators to predict what's going to happen going forward. We do know this. Both teams are very capable of kind of blowing the other team out. We saw that both teams went on some pretty big runs in the first and second sets. We could easily see a 32-30 game just as easily as we could see like a 25-10 game. That's the bizarre part here. So let's see what they've got, though. Davies looking to recover after a heartbreaker of a second set.
It's going to be kind of interesting to see who's going to take this initial lead and be the aggressors in this third set.
Yeah, Haley, the one thing we haven't seen from either team is jumping out to a big lead right away.
Initially,
the first 10 or so points of that first set, dead even. Same case with the second set. So let's see if the trend continues here in the third.
Just have to wait and see.
So Maddie Langley is back to serve. She went on a heck of a run, almost led that comeback for Davies in the last set. Cooper trying to make a statement here as she lets that one go right in the faces of a few Deacons. Big power shot. A little bit of a delay here as
some discussion
Yeah,
looks like.
Coach Wilson for the Eagles just having a chat with the referee.
Maybe talking about rotation because I believe she's looking at the rotation card right now.
That appears to be what she's talking about.
Uh-oh. Might be a little penalty or...
And yeah, Haley, I'm not really sure what's going on here. And I don't think the Deacons are either, as Stroup will run over for an explanation. And now everybody's huddled up. The Eagles, the Deacons, and the referee, yeah.
Jordan Stroup trying to get in there, peek in, hear what's going on, and she just nods red like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, she just said what we're all thinking, as it's just kind of confusion out there. I don't know, did the Eagles self-report an error in their rotation? I mean, I know that's not very likely, but that's just kind of all I can think of right now because we've only played 1 point.
Correct. It's not like there was a lot of,
there was not a lot of time
just
for
one time.
So I
am confused at what's going on.
And Coach Wilson seems to be the only one who does know what's happening, and that's no surprise. She knows volleyball pretty darn well, in case you haven't noticed. So
to coach up all these young girls out there and having them playing at the the level that they're playing right now is fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting to see what the
call's going to be.
If we're even really going to find out, because, I mean, I guess for all I know, this could just be an internal thing the referees need to sort out with the rotation sheet, but
for all we know, they could replay it.
That's true, and it would help if we knew what was going on as to why they would. But, yeah, I'm at a loss, so a quick discussion here. And I think it was just an error in the rotation.
Looks like we might be wrapping it up, or maybe not.
Well, my question is, does that affect the point we just played? Because I'm not sure if the error occurred.
If there was a rotation error, the other team, the Deacons, would also receive the point. But since it was the initial serve, I don't know where it's going to go.
I mean, my question is, were they out of rotation before? Were they out of rotation after? Was it an error with the referees in there? I mean, did they just have the wrong thing written down?
They might have gotten the wrong card because each individual set has their own rotations.
Right. So
maybe they got the wrong card that they weren't intending to give, and she might have to just kind of explain, this is the one I want for this set, and, this is the one I wanted for if we went into set 5. But I have no idea.
Yeah, and so, you said it best. I just have no idea. This is when you really wish they had mics, like, NFL refs.
A little sideline mic to see what was going on. Or, the ref having a mic to be able to kind of explain to us.
So,
and the point seems to be given to the Deacons because the Eagles were out of rotation, or they had the wrong rotation card in. I don't exactly know the answer, but all I know is that the point was given to the Deacons.
Yeah, well, it's reading zeros. Yeah, okay, so they will give it to the Deacons.
Or they might be replaying it.
Well, we saw, I think, both indicated.
There was both indicated. The Deacons go point.
Yeah,
there we go.
After all that, we have given 1 point to Shanley. And as we all know, 1 point can have a very big impact.
And it was the initial first point. So let's see if the Deacons can build upon that.
So, all right, well, here goes Payne.
Moving on.
Back to the action, yeah. So here's a set from Langley. Hall lets it go, and the Eagles are going to get that point right back.
Great way to answer off of that miscommunication and, a lot going on there on the Eagles side just to get the ball back in their hands.
Right. And we'll move on here, Haley. My best guess, though, as to what that was, I think they maybe gave the wrong card to the referees, and then I think they self-reported that error in their rotation.
I believe so. And there was a two-hit violation.
Yeah, so no one's getting anything right out there right now. There's poor execution from both teams to start off, but yeah, it's now 2-1 Davies after the double hit against Shanley. So here's Solberg back serving. Great dig from Gioc. Stroup there as well. Meyer lets it go, and it's blocked out of bounds, so we're tied at 2. Matheson going to come in.
Stroup Byer comes in for the Eagles.
Certainly got to watch her out there as Stroup is now serving and a little too strong on that one.
That's a tough break in a tight game like this. Being tied up, you got to at least get those in. There's been a couple errors for the Deacons on serving tonight.
3-2 now the score in favor of Davies. Beyer lets it go. Meyer to Stroup. Now Fredericks trying to poke it over. Fredericks once again, and then the kill from Langley. Haven't seen a ton of that out of her, mostly serving and playing a defensive role.
Correct.
But boy, she can get the offense going when she wants to. That was impressive.
And she answers when she needs to, and right there we just saw a little sneak peek of the power she has.
Beyer serving now, and she is dangerous. She was almost solely responsible for the Eagles' win in that first set. Just about losing this point, though, with the miscommunication was Davies. And then that ball goes out of bounds just barely, so it will be Shanley point.
Good job, good vision, and good communication there in the back row. Haley Geock being one of the seniors in the back row there to watch that ball follow it out to the red line.
Meyer serving, Beyer there. Quick set there for Terry. Heinrich reaching out, able to get there. Stroup now over to Huber. Huber all the way across, just out it looked like, and that is the call.
Tough calls tonight for these refs. These have been very difficult, whether they're on the line or just a little bit out. That one was out of bounds, though. I could kind of see that up here.
Yeah, I mean, close, but yeah, no, I think you're right. It looked out. So 5-3. Here's the serve from Kruger. Geock got there, but just kind of flies wildly that time and goes out. So 6-3 now in favor of Davies.
The serving for the Eagles tonight have been one of the main reasons that they've been getting their leads.
Yeah, Haley, and the only real slip-up we've seen from them was unfortunately at the worst possible time when they were a point away from winning that second set, as Megan Matheson has an impressive shot there to get a much-needed kill for Shanley.
And Megan Matheson, she's had 2 or 3 big points right there tonight where she's been going through some blockers, and she shows some of her power, and also being one of the younger ones on the team, not being scared to go up and face some of those big blockers.
Solberg playing that one up to Kruger as it goes, I think they'll say just in there, Haley?
It was just in out of that back row. The back row kind of slipped up a little bit again, a little bit in front of that free throw line, and she snuck it right in the back there and did a good job.
So Wills is back to serve for Davies. Kleiman takes it for Shanley. Set from Stroup to Matheson, and it's blocked. So it's now 8-4 in favor of the Eagles.
Good block there by the Eagles to time that up and go up and contest that ball. Like we said earlier, Megan Matheson is not scared to face those big blockers, but sometimes it's better to be a little bit more technical and tip it over when they're expecting it.
Kleiman to Stroup, now to Payne. Serious power behind that one, and that picks up a big kill there. Riley Payne making a big-time play.
Riley Payne has a lot of power, and she has great court vision this year, I've noticed. It's going to be exciting to watch her play these few years.
Certainly, Haley, as now Manuel is serving for Shanley. That one almost misplayed by the Eagles, but they're able to get it over as now Kleiman sends it up to Stroup. Payne one-hander there and gets the kill. Another kill for Riley Payne.
Kind of got lucky there from Riley Payne. She was just trying to get the ball over the net and ended up getting a kill out of it.
So Manuel will continue to serve. Here's the set from Kruger, then the spike from Langley. And that one headed into the next county as it went through the hands of a couple Deacons. And then
that was a burner.
Yeah, I mean, that had some heat on it.
That's a tough one to get up and adjust to, especially for Jordan Strout. Trying to set that ball up, that's difficult.
Strong serve. Kleiman elects to play it. Stroup diving save made. Payne pushes it across. And now here's Solberg laying it go. Tipped at the line. Manuel over to Stroup to Payne, trying to continue a nice run. Nice defensive play made. Solberg lets it go again. Geock there. Now Manuel. Manuel's ball played over to Payne. Langley there. Ball put up by Kruger. Solberg again looking for the kill, and she finally gets it. So make that 10-6 Eagles.
That's kind of a miscommunication error there by the Deacons. Riley Payne doesn't have to stick your arm out initially, just that one arm. If you have to lunge and reach for it with one arm, you should let that go to the back row. Just the little things right now can be a breaker in a big game like this.
So Langley back serving for Davies. Manuel has to come running forward, and the ball's off her arms and out of bounds, so that's an ace for Langley.
That's very difficult as a defensive back row player to come up and get those balls that are in front of the 10-foot line. And the Eagles have done a very good job at trying to finding those gaps right behind or at that line tonight as she goes right for it again.
Manuel gets to it. Stroup then over to Huber, who taps it across. Eagles play it nicely. Cooper lets it go. It was tipped and found its way in. 12-6 now. The Eagles looking strong and a timeout called. And that's a smart timeout there, Haley, as Shanley is in a bit of a hole now, down 12-6.
You know, I think they just need to work on their communication right now. They're playing well when they get a chance to set the ball up. But they just need to relax and be able to receive that serve and set it up initially right away. And Davies is doing a great job at, finding those gaps initially on those serves and making them have to rush their setup and playing good sound defense.
Yeah, for sure, Haley. Just looking at Davies looking more like they did in the first set here in this third. And so with this little break, we'll give another shout out here to Kirsten Wessel, who's tuning in. Thank you very much, Kirsten, for watching. Again, folks, if you want a shout out, just get in contact with us. We'll try to give you one as this timeout draws to a close. And Haley, let's see if Shanley has made the necessary adjustments to get back into this one.
Yeah, this is big for them. They need to be able to receive this serve and set it up and get a quick point, get the ball back in their hands, and hopefully start getting on the offensive side a little bit more.
So Maddie Langley still serving, climbing over to Stroup, who sets it up for Payne. Payne going across, great defensive play made. Tough play. Was it outside the antenna? Yeah, I was waiting for that call. It was closer than you'd think, but it was just a little bit outside that antenna.
It looked very close. I personally couldn't have made that decision from up here.
Yeah, I mean, my gut told me outside, but you're right, Haley. I mean, it was just right on there, so it's tough, but that's why the refs are right there alongside the antennas. As Giak stands tall against a power shot. Ball from Meyer is tipped and then falls out of bounds. So Shanley doing what you want to do fresh out of a timeout.
Yeah, they made a great adjustment right out of that timeout to receive that ball, set it up, and now get the ball back in their hands and serve and see if they can get a couple points here on the offensive side.
Serve from Giak. Nice dig made. And then that ball from Wills is tipped and out of bounds. Or excuse me, that was wild. But it's a point for the Eagles nonetheless. And now Morgan Hall will come in. Also, Kenzie Langley checking in.
We'll see if they'll set Kenzie Langley up here, or excuse me, Kenzie Langley's going to be setting those other girls up and see if they can't get some really good kills off of that.
Ball from Manuel over to Stroup. Now Meyer trying to go across, but too strong. And that's a point for Davies.
It's really difficult to kind of get that ball and go cross court, especially being on that outside position. It's really difficult, and she does it every once in a while in a few other games that we've watched. But right now, it's just kind of a little harder right now. Can't quite find the groove.
Stroup over to Payne. The Eagles, though, somehow keep it alive. Climbing now over to Stroup. Here's Meyer letting one go. Tipped. Back to Solberg. Set up by Langley. Then Cooper fires one. Climbing there for Shanley. Now Giak over to Meyer. Meyer's ball tipped. Excellent play made by Beyer. Langley across to Solberg. Looking for the kill. Meyer reached out. Climbing somehow got there. Can Giak get it over? Just short. An unbelievable effort play comes up just inches short, Haley.
That was a great volley there between both sides of the ball, and good effort by the Deacons. Haley Kleiman going out there and getting one hand on it. And Haley Giak trying to use all the effort she had to get it over, but just couldn't at the end of the day there.
And tough to blame her. Not too often you're having to play a ball from all the way back there, as Kleiman now gets it up to Meyer. Meyer looking for the corner, and it's off the outstretched arms of Maddie Langley for a Deacon point.
Good job by Grace Meyer to go back there and target that back corner. It's very difficult as a defenseman to read that ball when it's kind of hovering there, whether or not it's going to hit in the far back corner where the referee is standing or not. So she had to go up and touch it.
So Payne is serving. Beyer there for Davies. The set from Langley. Solberg lets one go. It's blocked, but down on the Shanley side.
Solberg. She's having a night.
Yeah, she's been racking them up. She had some troubles in that second set, putting them into the net. Since then, though, has made excellent adjustments.
Yep.
And she is serving now as Heinrich takes it. Stroup will set it up now for Fredericks, who lets one go. And man, oh man,
Fredericks.
That adds some power.
The cannon in the middle there. Great job by Fredericks. That was good timing and a great set. everything about that was just glorious.
Yeah, Frederick's just continuing to really come into her own, only a sophomore. She gets better and better each week. A short little set there for Terry, and that ball played by Stroup over to Giach, now to Matheson. Matheson trying to pick the corner, but a little too strong, and it's out of bounds.
It's a difficult play there by Megan Matheson to go, then blockers coming up to contest her, so she has to go over that, and hopefully that ball sinks like, a knuckleball we saw earlier from Grace Meyer.
Meyer serving that one, an ace, and those are such funny plays, Haley, because you never want to hit the net, but sometimes it can work to your advantage like it did there.
I wonder if they do that strategically. Did they kind of hit the top of the net and hopefully it rolls over? I think they do, but not all the time.
Yeah, I don't know, Haley. It seems like a risky play, but I know what you're saying. It does. You'd almost think they would, as that's another big block there. That time it was Keely Terry who got up there for Davies. And now it's 19-10, and no surprise here, a timeout taken by Shanley.
Shanley did really well out of their first timeout they took in this set to come out and get some quick points and get back on the offensive side. Right now, I think they just got to go out there and relax a little bit. I think they're playing a little bit of little flustered right now. So I just can't wait to see what they're going to do here out of this timeout. And Davies, I think they just got to keep playing the way they're playing.
Yeah, Hilly, it's tough here if you're Shanley. You want to stay in the moment. You want to stay in this game. Because we saw Davies come back. We know that this is a margin you can come back from. But it's tough not to turn the page and start thinking, well, we're down big in this game. Let's think about, the next game. It's tough not to just start looking forward because you got to stay in the moment, because you never know. We saw it happen almost with Davies. And folks, I want to give another shout out, this time to Amy and Eric Stroup, who are cheering on Shanley from Chicago. So thank you guys for tuning in. 19-10 in favor of the Eagles. And boy, Haley, how about the Eagles in this set? They have looked dominant. Aside from that first point where, we kind of had that mass confusion. Since then, they've looked very strong. They've looked very smooth, and they've been playing like that. It kind of looks like they're going back to their initial way they started that first set. Great play made by Matheson, but had a little too much momentum there. Carried her into the net. Went under the net there a little bit too much. Almost half of her body was under the net there. Kind of difficult. So 20-10 after the violation called against Shanley. And Beyer is back to serve. Low serve by Beyer. Myers there. Stroup sets. Fredericks going for the power shot. But they said hit 4 times? Yes, I believe it was. When it goes into the net, comes back out, and Fredericks just Shanley just to poke it, hopefully get over and not realizing that was the 4th hit. So quick 4 there for Shanley. Means another violation, another point loss, 2 violation. So here is Matheson trying to get the point back. The set and then a little tap from Terry. Great play made by Meyer. I don't know how she got that one over the net, as now Langley lets it go. Stroup is there. Heinrich back to Meyer. That back row, Beyer makes the great play, but there's no one home, and so that's a kill for Meyer. Great job by Meyer there. Not only on the offensive side, they're swinging, but did you see that defense there diving out for that ball and get it over the net with one hand? Great job. Meyer serving, Beyer back to receive. That one's set up for the kill that time by Hall. Or excuse me, I think Langley they'll say. Yes, it was Langley. I believe it was. Okay, yeah, my bad. Langley gets the kill, so Maggie Kruger is back to serve. Yes. All right. Got all these names straight now. There's a lot of names out there. So Giach takes that one. Stroup sets it up for Huber. Tipped at the line, and Huber finds the opening. They're down 10, but they're not playing like it. Deacons continuing to battle here. Yeah, the Deacons are, they're still battling even though they're, not quite, they're not leading and they don't have, the lead that they want, but they watch the Davies go through and try to fight back to it. Hopefully they can. So here's the quick set, but that's a violation on Davies. Looks like they went under the net that time. Yep. So that's another point for Shanley. 22-13 now. Kleiman will continue to serve. Slowly working their way back. Short serve this time by Kleiman. Kruger sets it up. Now here's Langley letting one go, and just like that, Shanley was putting a little bit together there, and Langley ended that real quick. A great way to answer if you're Davies right now. A little bit of 2-3 points there for the Deacons, maybe getting a little momentum back, and a quick answer. So Wills is back serving now for Davies, 2 points away from taking this set. Climbing there for Shanley. Ball off the net to Straub. Huber tried to tap it over, but to no avail. And the Eagles now 1 point away from winning set number 3. Wills on game point. Puts it a little short and to the right. Giak was there. Matheson lets it go. Byer got underneath it, but an awkward play could not be made by Langley.
Point Deacons. Olivia Manuel checking in.
So Manuel in the serve for Shanley.
See if she can get the Deacons here a few points and rally up.
Manuel, her serve taken and then sent over on the fake set. Well played there by the Eagles, but it falls out of bounds. Shanley, good job letting that one go. Now 24-15 Shanley. Manuel continues to serve. Here's the set from Kruger, and that ball is blocked. Solberg looking for the kill, but the big-time block on the right side is made.
That was a big play there by the Deacons. Hadley, Huber, and Jordan Straub going out to contest that ball. Little momentum now for the Deacons. See if they can keep it going here and get back.
Yeah, suddenly now down 8 as Kruger sets it up. It's tapped and blocked by Huber. Huber pushes it right back. Wills setting it up for Kruger. Over to Solberg. Solberg, that ball just found its way over. Took a skip and a jump over the net. Then Payne sent it right back to Solberg. Set from Kruger. The kill from Langley won't go, but it's blocked out of bounds. And so 25-16 is the final in set number 3. And now they're up 2-1 headed into the 4th.
That's a tough break there for the Deacons right there. You know, to go up and try to contest that ball up the net and have it go out. You know, but they got to keep out and keep fighting. They have a chance. They're playing really well right now. They just got to go out there and be a little technically sound and keep going out there and playing.
Yeah, Haley, and that's a tough set there for the Deacons because, you know, they had their moments, but they just were never really in it. Because Davies just built that lead and didn't relinquish it, and it's something we talked about. Neither team had really built up a lead in the very early goings of the sets, but that time Davies was able to do it, and they did not relinquish it in the least. So we do have some stats now. On the night after that third set, Grace Meyer is still leading Shanley in kills with 8, and then there are 3 girls tied with 4. Right behind her, it's Lander Fredericks, Riley Payne, and Hadley Huber, excuse me. And then assists, Olivia Manuel's at 2, while Jordan Straub is at 15. And then Haley Giak continuing the lead with 3 aces. For Davies, leading the way is Grace Solberg with 8 kills. Next is Maddie Langley with 7. Then Madeline Cooper with 6 assists. It's Maggie Kruger with 8 and Kenzie Langley with 5. And then aces, it's Maddie Langley with 3 and Avery Byer with 3 as well. Meanwhile, though, Natalie Hallstrom has 4 blocks on the night, so Hallstrom really making her presence known up front. She and Cooper have been a dominant force up there. Hallstrom kind of more defensive with the blocks. Cooper, meanwhile, more offensive, getting some big kills.
And that's the one thing I've seen with, Davies is how balanced they are. They have a lot of girls that get up to the net and have been putting a lot of balls down tonight. And the Deacons have, been fairly balanced as well, but they've also had a couple errors here and there with net violations and putting balls into the net and not being able to get those clean setups they want. But I think if they go out this fourth set, and be a little more technically sound, I think they can come away with it.
All right, and so before we get back to the action, we do want to remind you one more time that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. All right, so just seconds away from starting off set number 4, not set number 3. We'll try to get that adjusted for you, but it is set 4. Davies leading 2-1. Davies took the first set. Shanley took the second. The Eagles took the third. So if the pattern continues, we should see Shanley come away, but obviously that's not a very big sample size. Davies really has looked in control. They looked in control in the first. They looked in control in the second. But in the third. But that second set, Haley, it was Shanley really the whole time. Davies mounted a comeback, but the Deacons looked pretty darn strong throughout most of it. So it's been a kind of odd in that regard.
I would totally agree. They looked really good, and they played through it the whole set very well. And at the end there, the Davies came out and got the win, but you just got to go see what's going on out there right now. They just got to keep playing and keep competing. I think the competition level there in that third set went down a little bit on the Deacons side and kind of maintained on the Davies side, but it's a new set, new game.
Yeah, and that's what we've really seen tonight. You just kind of got to watch and see what happens because you really just can't predict it. So there is Hall getting up to Langley as Solberg lets one go. Manual right there for Shanley. Straub sets up now for Meyer. Her ball was blocked initially.
It hit the antenna.
Okay.
The ball did, so that's an automatic. It's out of bounds.
Thank you, Haley, for jumping in there.
I got you,
You
Jed.
can't see it at home, folks, but I was very puzzled by that play, so thank you, Haley. But yeah, ball hitting the antenna, that makes sense. So that's a tough break for Shanley, but a nice start here for Davies as Payne lets that one go. It's up in the air, played backwards by Byer, then just tapped over. Great play by Manuel, and then scooting out of the way at the end. Nice awareness from the junior. Here's the set, though, from Langley, and the kill. A power shot on the outside, and it's Hall who gets the point.
Quick setup and a very fast kill there. Great job by Davies to set that up and get a good kill off that.
So here's the serve now from Langley, the set, and then the spike from Meyer. Great defensive play by Maddie Langley. I don't know how she stopped that ball. The Deacons, though, looking to send it right back over. Great play made along the net, and then sent back by the Eagles. Meyer lets one go. It's blocked and falls out of bounds.
And it's almost impossible to stop that ball from Grace Meyer when someone tries out to contest it off the initial block. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, Haley, definitely, and that was a good play for Shanley. They needed a point here in the early going. They can't let Davies get off to the kind of start they had in the last set. That's for sure.
No, they couldn't. They got to keep this lead to within, maybe 2. They can't get above 3 points.
So Byer with the dig. Eagles looking to get back in control, and they do get the point there as Solberg's ball is blocked out of bounds.
Point Eagles, Keely Terry checking in. Serving number 4, Grace Solberg.
The Deacons have their best back row in this rotation. See if they can answer quick.
Ball from Solberg taken by Gioc. Set by Heinrich over to Meyer. I think it was in, and yeah, that's the call.
That was in.
Meyer got a lot of power on what's usually kind of a softer shot, but it just stayed in bounds. And I think that's what helped. I think it kind of threw the Eagles off that it traveled that far.
Yeah, and it's kind of difficult to read, though, sometimes if you get a good contact on it and push it over really well like she did there.
Quick set, and then the spike from Terry. Heinrich not fooled, does a good job staying in position, and then Fredericks capitalizes. She spotted the gap in the defense. And Haley, she just uses that height and that reach so well. Gets up, she has time as she's up there to kind of find the hole, and then just kind of slap that ball over there. She doesn't put a ton of power on it, but she just kind of guides it into the right spot.
She does, and she finds, that gap in between the two arms of those blockers there and just puts it in. And just like that, the answer there from the Davies, like we're talking about finding that gap. She found that gap, and instead of just tipping it over, she went just right through it.
Yeah, that was an impressive kill there in a tight spot. And so Avery Byer is back to serve now. She hasn't had quite the same success she did have in the first set, but we know she's capable of going on some runs here. So Meyer takes that one. Straub sets up now for Matheson, and Matheson airmails that one just a little too strong.
Little too much under that from Megan Matheson. They got to follow the wrist through there and get on top of the ball. Sailed it just a little bit far.
And those shots are tough because, they end up kind of looking really far off when in reality the only error you probably made was being a little off with your wrist.
And a great answer by Lander Fredericks there.
Yeah, there's the power and the accuracy that time. We know she possesses both. That time she puts them together for a nice kill to keep this a 1-point game as Meyer now serves. Ball taken in the back row by Byer, set and then sent over by Solberg, and that ball almost kept in play, but ends up out of bounds last touch by the Deacons.
You got to get that initial direction and good contact on that ball from that serve. It's very difficult, but that is key to setting up a good play.
Shout out to Peter and Mark Matheson cheering on the Deacons as well. Thank you guys for tuning in as an excellent defensive play is made by Giak. And then Solberg's in the back row to take it. The set and another great defensive play. That was Heinrich that time. Huber sends it over. Ball loose in the middle of the court. Byer takes it back to Solberg. Giak there for Shanley. Redirected up in the rafters as Straub sends it over now to Huber. Still going as Kruger steers it to Byer. There goes Wild that time. And it's called in. And it was just a little bit in there. The crowd not loving it, but I think that may have been the right call.
Yeah, that was the right call. It was difficult, but that ball hit right on the line, and it was just in.
And the crowd, clearly not happy, and that's understandable from the angle of the crowd. It's always tough to tell, but when you're right on that line, you can see a little more easily as Strout makes a heck of a defensive play.
Another
Matheson
defensive play
as well. Matheson going to push it over now. Here's Davies with some theatrics of their own. Great play made by Solberg. Loose at the net, and it falls for the Eagles. Solberg with the point-saving play that time for Davies, and Shanley not fooled around. They're going to burn that timeout right away, down 4.
They got to take that timeout to relax and, just get back into the play there. They seemed a little flustered towards the end there, but they still were making some great defensive plays. They just need to set the ball up a little more and see if they can get some hits down.
Yeah, Haley, in this timeout, I think Shanley, most importantly, they just need to kind of settle down here. They're looking a little flustered out there right now, but we'll see what they can do out of timeout. And so, folks, I want to give another shout-out here to Emily Stroup, cheering on Shanley all the way from Oxford, Mississippi. Well, thank you for tuning in from Oxford. Always fun to see the different locations folks are tuning in from. Thank you guys for getting in touch with us. It's fun to see, like I said. So, 8-4, Deacons have taken a timeout here. This is a do-or-die set for them. We're in the early goings of it, but they are trailing, and they must win this set to stay alive.
They must win this set.
So Kruger keeping this one low, lets it go. Giak takes it. Straub sets for Fredericks, and Fredericks gets a much-needed kill for Shanley.
Shanley needed that kill, and Fredericks seems like she's been the go-to girl tonight. She's had a couple of kind of big momentum kills that she's had. She hasn't had a lot, but the ones that she's had have been big keys.
So Kleiman lets it go on the serve. Taken by Langley. She gets it back, then puts some serious power on that one as Stroup then sends it over to Meyer. Great play made by Langley over to Solberg. This ball sent back by Kruger. Kleiman plays it up to Stroup. Payne sending it right back. Byer was there to Kruger, and then Langley trying to get it over, but it's into the net.
Great defensive play there from both sides of the ball. Davies right there, as you can see, that initial reach, and she got that ball.
Kleiman continuing to serve now. Deacons trail by 2. Here's Kruger setting it up for Terry, or at least trying to. Payne elects to play it. Maybe not the best call, but nonetheless, going for the kill that time. Won't quite go. Terry taps it over, and it's a Deacon point after a double hit by the Eagles. So Kleiman putting together a nice run here.
You got to stay technically sound. We've seen a couple errors from both sides of the ball right now, most of them coming from the Davies side in this set.
Yeah, Eagles got to tighten it up here, and that's a good start as that ball is out of bounds. Last touch by Shanley. So 9-7 now as Wills comes in, and the Eagles have the ball back.
See if they can maintain this lead and see if the Deacons can chip away at that lead and try to see if they can get on top.
Giak takes it. Stroup will set. Here comes Matheson, letting it go wide open. Picks the corner. Matheson didn't have to do much there, just using that court vision to find the open area and just puts it in there.
Matheson did a great job. As you can see, those girls all flowed over to the bottom side of the screen, try to adjust for her. She was going line, and she went across court in the back corner, and she did a good job there.
Right. The whole Davies team was running one direction, as was Matheson, and she noticed that, so she put it back the other way. Solberg sends it across. Kleiman's there. Straub sets. Here comes Payne. Tipped at the line. Byer trying to save it, but can't keep it in. It went out of bounds, and now it is 9-9. The Deacons have made an excellent recovery here.
Yes, they have. Now let's see if they can maintain it or come on top of that and take their first lead of the night. In this set, excuse me.
Here is Manuel now. Low ball. Great play made by Byer. Kruger sets it up for Solberg. Giak reached out, tipped it, and it went out of bounds.
Solberg is having a great night tonight, hitting the ball, and the hits that she does take, she is not tipping the ball. She is fully swinging through the ball and making them try to beat her, and she's doing a great job. Giak there, their session pass out to Straub, off to Payne.
And now this one going to be played forward by Huber. Langley was there. The set and then blocked partially, but it'll fall for the Eagles. So Wild picks up the kill there for Davies. And Byer will come back in as Langley is serving now for Davies. And Maddie Langley, she has put together some great runs.
Yes, she has tonight.
Giak receives, Straub sets. Here's Huber looking for the kill. It was blocked. Hesitation, but they do give it to the Eagles, so they're up 12-9 now.
Good job by the Eagles right now to keep pressuring the Deacons and keep going at them and throttling towards them. And the Deacons right now just need to have a little more defensive mindset right now. Try to get the ball back into the offensive hands, and great serve there by the Davies.
Yeah, Haley, that was an excellent play made that time by Langley.
And a timeout.
And that's I think, been the difference. At least one of them for me, Haley, has been Davies' ability to read and make the correct adjustments when serving. We saw it with Byer in the first set. Her volleyball IQ was on full display there. She just picked apart Shanley with her serving. And that time, Langley, another one of their very experienced servers, she does the same thing and just spots the open area and shorts it. And that's what you got to do. It's been very impressive there in that department.
It has been very impressive tonight watching these girls serve. And the Deacons right now, it's really hard to get into a good defensive setup and a good defensive, mindset right now when those serves are coming, because the ability for them to place that ball has been kind of unbelievable tonight. They've gone far, they've gone close, they've gone corners. It's very difficult to read.
Yeah, it's certainly been fun to watch here, Haley, as now with that 13-9 lead, Shanley just took their last time out here of the fourth set, so that is something to watch going forward. If they need that later, they won't have anything. And how about Hadley Huber? Oh, it won't work out for him. There's not much you can do there. Huber tipped it over, made a heck of a play, but the Eagles just a little bit better that time, finding the open corner. Almost a beauty of a play there for Shanley, but the Eagles just do it a little better.
Yeah, they've been doing a fantastic job tonight, just finding those little gaps and even coming away with those kind of lucky breaks.
So Straub now sets it up for Payne, and Payne gets the kill. Excellent positioning that time. There was an open corner, and she found it.
Payne has been doing a great job at finding those gaps, and she's been hitting those gaps with power tonight. She's been doing great at doing that job.
Giak keeping this one a little short. Solberg with the great dig, but an even better kill that time. That was Riley Payne, I believe, in the middle there.
It was, yep. Riley Payne going up there, showing that she can actually go up and jump at those balls with the vertical. She's done a great job at, timing that as well.
Giak serving as Langley was there to take that one. The set from Kruger, then the spike from Cooper wouldn't go. Straub now over to Payne, trying to continue an excellent run. Was it tipped? They'll say no.
It's very hard and very difficult to see. With these refs, the game like this and how tight it is, you don't know what to call.
Right, every call's gonna be scrutinized when it's this close.
It is.
I didn't think that was tipped. It very well could have been. That's just how close it is. So it's a 50-50 call either way. So Payne sends it over. Byer receives. Here's the quick set. Cooper lets it go and gets the kill. So Davies up 16-11, and keep in mind here, Haley, Shanley has no more timeouts. That is big. That's very tough when you can't kind of stop a run, when you can't, stop play for a little bit to catch your breath.
Almost.
Right, ice the server. If you've got a hot server, those timeouts give you a lot of options. As Kleiman now plays this one forward to Straub, and the Eagles with the heads-up play, they let it fall out of bounds.
The Deacons need to find a little bit of more energy right now. It looks like they're playing a little flat They need a big play here to happen. A ball going to net, out of bounds, a block, something to give them a little bit of jump, a little bit of energy.
17-11 now. Davies continuing an excellent run. Straub with the great play to save it. Meyer trying to get some life back into the Deacons. Solberg going to send it right back, though. Kleiman to Straub, now to Payne, attacking that back row. Beyer there. Ball put up, Langley to Langley. Good play made by Kleiman. Meyer again. Maddie Langley back there. Kenzie Langley back to Maddie Langley at the net. It finds an open area and drops 18-11.
Good job by the Eagles. They're still playing just like they did in that first set, you know, being the aggressors, keeping it on throttle. Doing a great job. And the Deacons right now, they just need to get a little bit, you know, more relaxed. I think they're playing a little bit of tight right now, trying to be a little bit error-free. There they get a free one right there, see if they can get some momentum off of that.
Well, yeah, that's huge. Haley, as Davies commits the mental error just as you were talking about him. But, yeah, that's very big.
It is, yes.
For the Deacons is now they're going to have an opportunity to go back on a run here. And so this one put up by Cooper, back to Hall, and then sent over by Straub. Great defensive play made, but not for long. Straub gets the kill for Shanley, trying to keep him around, now down 5.
Good heads-up play there by Jordan Stroud to be able to see that ball coming up over to her a little bit too much under, so she couldn't set it up. To poke it over was a little bit of momentum.
Ball from Heinrich, handled by Beyer in the back row. That one sent over, taken by Giak, the set by Strout. Meyer looking for the kill, cross court, going across the net. That's her go-to move, and it pays off.
She tried that a couple times in that already, and it didn't work. And there, I think it clicked. And if she can get that rolling here, going into this set and get the Deacons on top, I think it'll be good.
And this is exactly what you want, Haley. If you're Shanley, you force Davies to take a timeout when you don't have one yourself. Obviously, you're going on a run, so that's what made him take it. But still, you get that breather that you couldn't really call yourself anymore, and they're just doing a great job fighting their way back in this one, now down 4.
Correct.
Give another shout-out here to Kirsten Wessel, Jordan Straub's former coach at Osakis. Straub, of course, transferred in before her junior year, so there's a cool connection there. Thank you for tuning in. And Straub clearly had been an impact player for Shanley these last 2 years, as you've heard her name called quite a bit. So 18-14, Davies having taken the timeout. They were up big. They're still up by a pretty wide margin, but they had to call the timeout there to just kind of stop some bleeding as they were surrendering a bit of their lead.
Now let's see what the Davies team will do out of that timeout, if they can answer or if they will be able to stop Natalie Heinrich here on her good serve and set it up and get a kill off it.
All right, well, here we go. Serve from Heinrich, taken by Langley, up to Kenzie Langley. The ball then blocked out of bounds by Meyer. Meyer and Fredericks went up there, and the ball just went off their hands and out of bounds.
That's hard with the power of that Grace, but I believe it was Solberg that had that point there. And it's very difficult.
And so Solberg back to serve now. Giak to Straub. Now Meyer trying to go cross court once again. Davies not fooled this time. Ball set back to Hall. Was it tipped? No, it was not. So that's a point for Shanley.
Good break there for Shanley. Hopefully they can take a little bit of that and put it towards our offensive game now.
Yeah, trailing by 4. They need to go on a bit of a run here.
They do, yep.
Straub is back to serve. Maddie Langley up to Kenzie Langley, and then a big error there. Cooper just a little too low on that one, and it goes into the net. So it's a 3-point lead now for Davies. This is game 4, folks. It reads game 3, but we are in game 4. It's a must-win for Shanley as that ball's off the arms of Straub and out of bounds.
Point Eagles.
So that's a point for Davies and a big point.
A big point for Davies. And now watch this right now. See how the Deacons are back behind that 10-foot line. Let's see if she will target that red line.
Yeah, they're expecting Beyer to attack the back left corner. And then they move up, anticipating her trying to short it. So here's Straub to Frederick. She taps it over. Solberg got there just in a nick of time. It's kept up, though, by Heinrich to Straub. Now to Matheson looking for the kill. Excellent play made by Langley. Now here's Maddie Langley. Heinrich has it. Straub sets. Here comes Meyer looking for the kill. Tipped at the line. Solberg kept it alive. Loose at the net. Tipped. And the ball falls for the Deacons.
Great job by the Deacons there to stay focused and to follow that ball. Wow, that was a big point the Deacons needed there, and a good fight between the Eagles.
Hard fought point, Haley, yes, and that's how they are going to be from here on out, it seems, as Davies inching closer to winning this whole thing. Shanley trying to keep it alive, closing in on them. Here's Hall, ball tipped. Heinrich back there for Shanley. Straub sets now over to Huber. Huber could not find an open area. Now Langley will set. That ball tipped and then sent right back by Fredericks. 20-18 now the score.
And I believe with that one, that was Frederick's 9th kill of the night.
And so here is Meyer. That ball taken by Hall, set right back to her, and Hall gets that point right back for Davies. Morgan Hall with the big-time play. They now lead by 3. 4 points away from winning this whole match.
That was a big play for the Eagles there to get the momentum back them and the ball back in their offensive sides to hopefully close this game out for them.
Matheson didn't quite have her feet under her that time, but was able to get it over. And that ball just tipped over. Huber with an excellent defensive play. Strout back to Matheson. Byer keeping it alive. Kruger now over to Langley. Langley shorts it a little bit, but Strout got there as Giach now sends it to Huber. Huber's ball taken by Solberg. Over to Kruger. Sent into the far corner. And it falls for the Eagles. Now up 22-18. Just fantastic accuracy that time.
Fantastic job, Jed, by the Davies Eagles there. Good job at finding those gaps. A little miscommunication error there in the back row. I couldn't quite tell what was going on, but the Davies found that gap, and they went right to it.
Yeah, they left that near corner exposed, and the Eagles immediately pounced on it. So here is Kruger. Her ball taken by Heinrich. Up to Straub. Fredericks lets one go, and it falls on the Eagles' side. Shanley hanging around late in set 4.
And I believe that puts Lander Fredericks into double digits for kills tonight. She has been the go-to girl in the middle there. She has put a lot of balls down. And Grace Meyer also in the double-digit club.
So here's a serve from Kleiman, taken by Solberg. Now played over to Langley. I think that was outside. Yes, it was. 2-point game.
Wow, we got a game on our hands, Jed. The competition is back just like it was in set 3.
Set 2 that was.
Excuse me, yes, set 3.
No,
2.
No, but I know what you're saying, yeah. As Solberg now up to Kruger. Here goes Terry. Giach there to receive. Straub going to set it up for Matheson. But that ball's into the net off the face of Giach, and they could not recover. And I think they called a lift anyway.
Yes, I believe they did. I couldn't quite tell. I was overlooking on the offensive side there, not watching the defense there.
Doesn't really matter either way. But 23-20 now the score. 2 points away are the Davies Eagles. Kleiman receives. Straub sets it up for Payne. Awkward angle, able to get it over. Byer there. Kruger sets. Here goes Solberg, and she gets the kill. Just 1 point separating the Eagles from victory.
That was a fluent setup there. Fantastic job. And I believe for Solberg, that was her 13th kill of the night.
She has just been unbelievable for the Eagles. So here we go, game point, match point. Kleiman takes it for Shanley. Straub now over to Payne. Her ball blocked, trying to keep it alive. Kleiman got there. Straub now going to send it over. From the back row, it's Solberg to Kruger. The set, then the spike from Langley. It's loose. Giach somehow tracks it down. But 4 hits will be the call, and that does it for us here tonight. It was in dramatic fashion. It was close all the way, but the Eagles are able to pull off the victory in 4 sets. And Haley, man, oh man, what a game.
What a game. That was one of the best games to watch this season, I believe. They did a fantastic job on both sides of the ball. The Davies Eagles and the Deacons did a good job at keep fighting and going out there. There were a couple technical errors here and there, but overall, they did a great job.
Yeah, hard-fought game. Shanley proving that they are right up there with the best of the best. They gave the Eagles some trouble there, and we'll give you some final stats here. So Grace Meyer and Lander Fredericks were tied for the leading kills for Shanley with 10 apiece, followed by Riley Payne with 7. Jordan Straub, far and away the leader with assists there. She had 23, then Heinrich and Manuel had 2 apiece. Giach finished with 3 aces, setting the pace there for Shanley. For Davies, it was Solberg leading with 13 kills, followed by Maddie Langley with 9, and then Madeline Cooper with 8. Kenzie Langley and Maggie Kruger tied with 10 assists apiece. And then Maddie Langley had 4 aces, Avery Byer had 3, and Natalie Hellstrom finished with 4 blocks for the Eagles. So a hard-fought game. Again, Shanley able to take a set off the best. Pretty impressive, but still, Davies proving that they are the best here once again tonight, walking away with a win in enemy territory. And so, folks, going forward, don't forget we'll be back with more volleyball on Thursday. We are not doing football playoffs, just a reminder of that. So we will not have those for you, but we do have 2 more volleyball games. We'll be with you again Thursday, and then next Tuesday, I believe it is, will be our last broadcast of the fall sports season. For tonight, though, for Haley Buckles and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo: Shanley Deacons 1, Davies Eagles 3. To watch the archive version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.